Gritty. I will be on site. I will be at this game. I was there all week. I didn't go today, but I'm excited for this one, y'all. Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech, man. This is a massive game for both teams, right? Pittsburgh, I think they hurt their playoff chances by losing, getting throttled by Notre Dame. If they could have handled business at home, it would have been a different scenario. But they blitzed, they battered, they bruised Mason Heitschel. That is what they did, man. They made it tough for him. And they could not get things going on the ground, right? So that was massive for them, obviously at home. And Notre Dame, which defense has been kind of up and down this year, that made all the difference in the world. So credit to Notre Dame and their defense, man, and the job that they've been obviously doing this year. Right now, my biggest question for them is Desmond Reed. Right, obviously have Ja'Carrion Turner, who's been doing his thing this year, 414 yards rushing this year. But my biggest thing is Desmond Reed's kind of that virtuoso, versatile piece for them. He can do a little bit of everything, y'all. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run it. He can play slot. He's a virtuoso, and he's not a big dude, but that sideline to sideline, if you're Georgia Tech, kind of worries you a little bit because they got multiple playmakers they can get the ball to on the outside that can hurt you, right? They've struggled with that a little bit this year. You know what I'm saying? And especially with the struggles that Georgia Tech has had running the ball, not running the ball, with their run defense, that's going to be something to watch for in this game. They're one of the bottom ranked teams. I think they're in the hundreds when it comes to run defense. They're giving up about 7 yards a carry, and I think over 160 yards rushing, probably more than that now. So that's something they're going to have to figure out. That's one of the keys I have in this game for Georgia Tech. They have to figure out their run defense, right? We'll talk about their offense here in a second, but Pittsburgh can run the football, right? Now, they got stymied, against Notre Dame, but this team can't run the football, and they got multiple pieces they get the ball to. And then the wide receiver. Georgia Tech did not have a good game, right? You go look at last week, going up against, obviously, Boston College and, obviously, their receivers. They torched them. They had two 100-yard receivers last game. So Georgia Tech has to figure that part out, right? And that's a little scary with what Johnson's been doing this year. 600 yards receiving, 41 catches, 4 tubs. He's been balling out this year. Do you have an answer for that? Luckily for Georgia Tech, Amari Harvey has returned from his injury. Obviously, he played last week. He should have more full-time minutes, I think, in this game. So that should help them out, obviously, a lot. So getting him his return. And Jai Gilmore should have another game under his belt, which should help them out, obviously, as well. So those are a couple things, obviously, to watch. Can Georgia Tech secondary hold up? And I think the biggest thing is, can they generate any kind of a pass rush, right? Any kind, because Dylan Lonergan last week was back there, calling his girlfriend, checking on his mom for Thanksgiving. Like, they literally had no answer defensively for them. They got a couple stops, which was good, but they literally had no answer for for Lonergan, who lit them up last week. Like, this team averaged 323 yards per game for Boston College. They went off for like nearly, I think, or more than 500 yards. Tech has to figure that out. That's the biggest thing there. And you have a Pittsburgh offense that can get off. They put up 50-plus points on NC State, right? You can't just look at the Notre Dame game and say, oh, okay, well, this is a team that doesn't score. No, this team scores points, and their defense is elite, right? We'll talk about that more on the other flip side of this game. But those are key things on defense for Georgia Tech, right? Can you stop the running game? Can you not allow the receivers to go off against your corners? Your corners early in the season played really well, been struggling as of late. Do you have an answer for Johnson? Can you slow down, obviously, Desmond Reed as well? And can you batter and bruise Mason Heistro a little bit with your pass rush, right? It hasn't been good. Coming into this game. Andre Fuller is questionable, right? He's your young thoroughbred, true freshman guy that can, create pressure. He's really good in run defense. You need somebody to step up in this game. It can't just be a Kilo Stone. It can't just be Jordan Vandenberg. It has to be somebody else that can step up for you and make a true difference. That is what that's what Georgia Tech's been missing out on. And when you have a true freshman quarterback, you got to make him uncomfortable. Again, he can sling that thing. He got like 4 300-yard games this season, including a 400-yard game as well against NC State when he cooked them for 424, I think 3 touchdowns. So this kid can sling it, but he's also turnover prone, right? That's where your defensive line comes in. If you got a game record or somebody that can get some pressure on him and speed him up, get him off of a spot, that helps you out. That plays into, obviously, your hands if you're a Georgia Tech defense. So those are the key defensively for Georgia Tech. Offensively, you Pittsburgh, try to hit them over the top, obviously. Run the ball, get the running game going. They're giving up 6 to 7 yards to carry and lean on play action. Now, for Tech offensively, offense is elite, right? Damn near 500 yards. 500 yards, y'all, of total offense in every game this year. And the crazy part is teams are keying in on them. So when you break down this matchup, number 6 rush defense for Pittsburgh, right? And what is it led by? right? It's led by Lewis, and it's led obviously by Rasheem Biles. Now, he's a player I highlighted in my SI article. Dude's been balling. He's one of the highest rated defenders for Pittsburgh per PFF, right? 60 plus tackles this year. Obviously has multiple sacks, forced fumbles, and obviously multiple interceptions. Each interception he's had, I think he's returned for a touchdown. Kid is elite, right? So you know up front they got dudes. They don't got Aaron Donald back there, but they got dudes on the defensive line. So they're gonna make it tough. They're not gonna allow Malachi Hosley and Jamal Haynes and Haynes King with the RPO. They're not gonna let you do that, right? But one thing you got going for yourself is something that Pat Narduzzi pointed out in his press conference that you got Haynes King and you got a team that moves the ball a lot, right? You have a team that does different formations. That can confuse people, right? Obviously, they watched their tape and they studied the film for Coach Narduzzi, but he even said they got multiple formations, right? And it's hard to obviously stay up with. So that's going to be something to watch in this game as well. I look for Georgia Tech, if I'm them, lean on the passing game, right? Obviously, try to establish the run there, run first team, but lean on Eric Rivers, who's gotten better and better. 500 yards receiving this year, 600 or 36 catches, and obviously touchdown. Lean on Jordan Allen, right? You know what I'm saying? He looked like he's going to be the guy, you know, obviously behind Malik Rutherford, right? Bailey Stockton was cleared to play. I don't think he sees a lot of minutes in his game humbly compared to what Coach Brent Key said, right? So lean on your young thoroughbreds. Lean on obviously Jordan Allen, right? Malik Rutherford should be ready to go. That's your big play guy down the field, right? Lean on your tight ends, right? That's going to be a key piece of your Georgia Tech because you can throw to Josh Beatham. You know what I'm saying? You can throw to several guys and obviously make the difference and do things like that, right? That's going to be the key, right? If you're Georgia Tech, lean on a Luke Harper, right? A Josh Beatham, a JT Byrne, because they're going to over pursue them deep play guys, the Eric Rivers and the Malik Rutherfords and the Jordan Allens. That's when you go and you hit them with the flat routes, right? The little crossers with the tight ends. That's all they need to do in this game. Now they got the athletes on the defensive side of the ball for Pittsburgh, but if you lean on those other guys, you know, just with some misconceptions, some deception, that should help you if you're Georgia Tech. So I think the running game will be a little bit tough. Not that Georgia Tech don't have a formidable offensive line. They do, one of the best ones in the country. But if I'm Georgia Tech, I'm leaning on my passing game with Haynes King, who has thrown for over 300 yards, I think, in 3 consecutive games. You got the pieces to do it. A lot of people sleep on this offense because it's like, oh, we don't have any star players offensively, but you actually do, right? Besides Haynes King, who's a Heisman candidate in my book. You got pieces you can get the ball to. If I'm Georgia Tech, I'm leaning on that. I want to play with a lead in this game. I don't want to play around with Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to come from behind because it's going to be tough. A lot of people was taking, obviously, Pittsburgh to win this game. When you look at the spread, it's 2.5, which basically means it's kind of a toss-up, and 57% expect Georgia Tech to win per the analytics. So it's an interesting game. It's a home. It's a nightcap. They always play well in the type of games for the Yellow Jackets, man. So that's a very, very good positive for them. You know what I'm saying? They play really good in night games. So that helps them out, obviously, a lot. They've won a number of games at night, you know, big time. NC State last year. UNC, which was the start of the Brent Key era of them winning big games at home, right? So got all this culmination. It's senior night. It's a big day on the flats. You know what I'm saying? Last game for Haynes King, last game for Jamal Haynes, last game for Jordan Vandenberg, last game for Amari Harvey, last game for Malik Rutherford. And you got a chance to punch your ticket to the ACC title game. It don't get much better than that if you're Georgia Tech. You know what I'm saying? And you got Georgia next week. So for Georgia Tech, handle your business. Play with a lead. You'll need your defense to play better. Create some turnovers. If you could do that, this offense, I feel like they can score and make you pay. And then from that point, lean on your running game to close it out, man. But I'm going to go Georgia Tech, close game, close victory. I'm going to go by 10. I'm going to go 31-21. They pull away late and get the victory punch. They take it to Charlotte and come out on top, man. Advance to 10-1 on the year. That's how I got it going, man. Had to give y'all a little in-depth breakdown of the game, man. I'm excited. It should be a good one. 2 really elite teams. I wish Pittsburgh would have came into this game at 8-2. Because it would have created even more intrigue and would have been even a better quality win, obviously, for Georgia Tech and the Yellow Jackets, man. But I'm going to leave it there. That's the first game breakdown.